After studying this module, you will be able to understand the concept of elimination disorder, know the clinical picture and etiology of enuresis, learn about the various methods of treating the disorder. Elimination disorder. Elimination disorder is of two types, enuresis and encopresis. The term enuresis refers to the habitual involuntarily discharge of urine, usually at night after the age of expected continence, age 5. In DSM-4-TR, functional enuresis is described as bedwetting that is not organically caused. Children who have secondary functional enuresis have never been continent. Children who have secondary functional enuresis have been continent for at least a year but have regressed. Enuresis is diagnosed for children of at least 5 years of age when bedwetting or involuntary urination occurs more than once a month, a week, or for at least 3 consecutive months. If the frequency is often less, the diagnosis may still be made when the bedwetting causes significant distress or impairment in the child's functioning. According to American Psychiatric Association 1994, for most children in Western society, the major confrontation with social expectations for impulse control occurs in the context of potty training. By the age of 3.5 years, the majority of children gain bladder control, but sometimes things do not go as planned. Enuresis is arbitrarily defined as involuntary urination at least twice a month for children between 5 and 6 and once a month for those who are older. It is estimated that between 3 million and 6 million school-aged children in the United States suffer from sleep-related enuresis. After elementary school, the proportion of children who have difficulty controlling urination either during the day or while in bed drops markedly. At age 12, only 8% of boys and 4% of girls have enuresis. There is a marked decrease in enuresis with age, and most who continue to have the problem into the late childhood are males. Moreover, in adulthood, enuresis is almost non-existent for female, but approximately 1 to 2% of male remain enuretic as estimated sample of military recruits. Most children from low socioeconomic backgrounds than children from higher socioeconomic classes have this disorder. Consistent evidence also shown that children are more likely to be enuretic if the parents are enuretic, because enuresis is generally declines with age. It's reasonable for an enuretic children's parents to wonder how long the bedwetting will continue. Researchers followed approximately 1200 bedwetters between the age of 5 and 19 over a 15 years period to see how long it took them to become dry without medical or psychological treatment. Their likelihood of a spontaneous cure or simply growing out of the problem was only 15% per year. Parents of the most school-age enuretic children are generally advised to seek treatment for this problem. Enuresis can be troublesome for children who cannot understand why they wet their beds during sleep. Parents who mistakenly believe that the problem is simply one of the laziness often make their children's sense of shame worse. Soiled sheets anger many parents and embarrass many children. anoretic children tend to avoid visiting friends overnight, going to camp, or stay with their relatives. Those who share bedroom with siblings are often the subject of relentless teasing. The problem of children with anorexia are compounded by the social consequences of the disorder. Parents object to soiled sheets and cloths. They stigmatize the child as immature. Schoolmates and friends are likely to tease the child. These social consequences may create a fertile ground for other psychological problems. Anorexia defined according to Diagnostic Statistical Manual 4 TR criteria. Repeated voiding of urine into bed or clothes, whether involuntary or intentional. The behavior is clinically significant as manifested by either a frequency of twice a week or at least 3 consecutive months, or the presence of clinically significant distress or impairment in social, academic, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. Chronological age at least 5 years or equivalent developmental age. The behavior is not due exclusively to the direct physiological effects of a substance, for example, diabetic, a seizure disorder, and coprasis. The failure to control bowel movement is much less common than anorexia. Children are not diagnosed with encopresis unless they are 4 years of old or older. The disorder is often associated with physical health problems, but when there is no specific physical causes, encopresis is frequently associated with conduct disorder or oppositional defiant disorder. DSM-4-TR estimated that about 1 to 5 years old have encopresis. A study of 102 cases of encopretic children yielded the following. There has been a relatively little research on the causes and treatment for encopresis. The psychiatric DSM-4 diagnostic criteria for encopresis are repeated passage of feces into inappropriate places, for example, clothing or floor, whether voluntary or unintentional. At least one such event a month for at least 3 months. Chronological age of at least 4 years or equivalent developmental level. The behavior is not exclusively due to a physiological effect of a substance, for example, laxatives, or a general medical condition, except through a mechanism involving constipation. The DSM-4 recognizes two subtypes with constipation and overflow incontinence and without constipation and overflow incontinence. In the subtype with constipation, the feces are usually poorly formed and leakage is continuous, and this occurs both during sleep and waking hours. In the type without constipation, the feces are usually well formed, soiled, and the feces are usually deposited in a prominent locations. This form may be associated with oppositional defiant disorder or conduct disorder, or may be the consequences of a large anal insertion, or more likely due to chronic encopresis that has readily desensitized the colon and anus. Causes of anorexia. There are many different causes of anorexia. Parents typically but often mistakenly believe that bedwetting is caused by emotional problems or by extremely deep sleep that prevent children from detecting bladder pressure. Diseases and infection account for only small number of cases. Both bedwetters do not have disease or emotional problems. During sleep or waking period, they simply fail to respond to the cues from their bladder that it's time to urinate. Biological factors. There is evidence that biological factors do contribute to anorexia. Approximately 70% of children with anorexia have first degree relatives who have or have had anorexia. and the occurrence for anorexia is higher in identical twins than in fraternal twins. So, the more similar a person's genetic blueprint is to a person with anorexia, the more likely the individual will have also anorexia and certain regions of on chromosomes 8, 12 and 13. But the additional research is needed to confirm this. It may result from a variety of organic conditions such as disturbed cerebral control of the bladder, neurological dysfunction, or other medical factors such as medication effects or having a small functional bladder capacity. One group of researchers reported that 11% of the neurotic patients had disorder of the urinary tract infection. Physical illness can also contribute to anorexia. It is not uncommon for children to develop anorexia after experiencing an illness that disrupt their daily schedule and sleep patterns. The link between illness and the onset of anorexia may be direct consequence of a decrease in the physical control of bladder function, but it could also a result of a stress, psychological factors. A clear-cut example of the role of a stress provided by Dollinger, who studied the effect of a tragedy in which children were struck by lightning and killed. He collected information about 5th and 6th graders who were aware of the incident. While most of these children reported feeling of anxiety, especially during storms, the most disturbed children experiences anorexia. These findings and others suggest that stress can trigger the onset of anorexia. However, most investigators have pointed to a number of other possible causal factors: faulty learning, resulting in the failure to acquire inhibition of relaxive bladder emptying, personal immaturity associated with or stemming from emotional problems, disturbed family interaction, particularly those that lead to sustained anxiety, hostility, or both. Stressful events. Parents typically but often mistakenly believe that bedwetting is caused by emotional problems during sleep or waking period. They simply fail to respond to cues from their bladder that it is a time to urinate. Treatment. Medical treatment. Medical treatment of anorexia typically centers on using medication. The mechanism underlying the action of a drug is unclear, but it may simply decrease the deepest stage of sleep to light sleep, enabling the child to recognize bodily needs more effectively. And intranasal desmopressin has been used to children manage urine more effectively. This medication, a hormone replacement, apparently increases urine concentration, decreases urine volume, therefore reduces the need to urinate. The use of this medication to treat anoretic children is no panacea. Disadvantage of its use include its high cost and the fact that it is effective only with a small subset of anoretic children, but only temporarily. Bath, Martin and Williams 1996 reported that treatment with desmopressin was disappointing, but concluded that this treatment had some utility as a way to enable children to stay dry for brief periods of time, for example at a camp or on a holiday. Moffat 1997 suggested that desmopressin had an important place in treating anorexia in youngest, those who have not responded well to behavior treatment methods. So, it is well to remember that medications by themselves do not cure anorexia, that it is frequent relapse when the drug is discontinued or the child habituates to the medication. Some drugs, namely antidiuretic or antidepressants such as imipramine and SSRI, can suppress bedwetting at least temporarily, but often children begin to wet the bed again once the drug is stopped. Even a few dry nights can be an enormous morale booster to a child with anorexia, particularly if it allows the child to visit friends overnight or to go to camp without fear of embarrassment. Antidepressants can have side effects such as weight loss, cardiovascular problems. For some children, the side effects outweigh the usefulness of the medication. It is now apparent that even though these drugs does result in decreased frequency of bedwetting, but it's not a cure in most cases. It has not been established as a primary treatment for anorexia that lead to cessation of bedwetting. Behavioral treatment. Behavioral treatment have been quite successful with anorexia, and the effects may be more lasting than drug treatment. Most common is a procedure that was first described over 50 years ago. The child sleeps in his own bed. Beneath the sheet is a special pad which, when moistened by urine, completes a harmless electrical circuit that sounds a bell and awakens the child, when then goes to the toilet. Then they instruct the child to return to the bedroom and change the sheets, reset the alarm and go to sleep. To monitor the child's progress, the parents keep a daily chart, and for each dry day, they place a gold star on it. Usually within 3 to 8 weeks of treatment, the child no longer wets the bed. An extensive review of the effectiveness of the bell and pad treatment, approximately 2/3 of the children had stopped wetting. The researchers also reported that fewer than 1 of every 10 clinic referred children would be expected to stop bedwetting if untreated. A variation on the bell and pad method involves an all-night training program of intensive training in how to become continent. This program consists of only 1 or 2 extended overnight sessions with the therapist present. The child drinks large amount of fluid before going to bed to increase the probability of urinating during the night. Then throughout the night, the child receives practice and positive reinforcement for getting out of the bed to urinate and for urinating in the toilet. The child also receives negative reinforcement for accidents in the form of reprimand and having to clean and remake the bed. As an original bell and pad treatment, a chart marks the child's progress. This is all-night training procedure that has been used in several studies with 100% success. Although in some other studies, success rate has been considerably low. Another low-cost one-group treatment programs for anoretic and their parents combining the bell and pad and all-night training methods has been successful in 80% of the cases. So this program is cost-effective and efficient in helping children achieve continence, and the relapse rate is 23%, compares very favorably with other treatment outcomes. So behavioral treatment is effective with the children who are most effective with children who are under the age of 12. Recent evidence suggests that biobehavioral approach, that is using the urine alarm along with medicine, is most effective with or without treatment. The incidence of anorexia tends to decrease significantly with age, but many experts still believe that anorexia should be treated in childhood because there is presently no way to identify which children will remain anoretic into adulthood. In an evaluation of research on the treatment of bedwetting, it was found and concluded that treated children were more improved at follow-up than non-treated children. They also found that learning-based procedures were more effective than medication. Summary: for most children, the major confrontations for impulse control occurs in the context of potty training by age of 3.5 years. The majority of children gain bladder control, but sometimes things do not go as planned. Anorexia is arbitrarily defined as involuntary urination at least twice a month for children between 5 and 6 and once a month for those who are older. Consistent evidence has also shown that children are more likely to be anoretic if a parent was also neurotic. So it generally declines with age. And coprasis is the failure to control bowel movement. So it is often associated with conduct disorder. The distinction is made between the primary anorexia and where the child never attains bladder control, and secondary anorexia which occurs after the child has achieved control. Some assumes that primary anorexia is caused by biological abnormality, and paralysis may result from a variety of organic conditions and neurological dysfunctions or other factors such as medication side effects and psychosocial factors such as stress that contributes to secondary anorexia. There is also evidence that biological factors do contribute to anorexia. It is also possible that children develop anorexia after experiencing an illness that disrupt their daily schedule and sleeping patterns. The most effective and commonly used psychological treatment is the Bell and Pad method, developed in 1930 by Mower and Mower. Behavioral treatments are effective in treating children who are below the age of 12. Medical treatment is also proved to be effective in treating neurotic. Antidepressant drugs can have side effects such as weight loss, cardiovascular problems. For some children outweigh the usefulness of the medication, and antidepressant initially seemed effective in treating neurotic children. It is now apparent that even though the medicines does result in decreased frequency of bedwetting, but it's not cure in most cases. Another medication which has received attention is naproxen, that is taken in the form of nasal spray.